As of the 15th of August 2025, there is no verified or officially acknowledged export deal between China and Pakistan involving the J-35A stealth fighter. While discussions around the possibility of such a transfer have been ongoing in defense analysis circles for some time, and speculative reporting has fueled the perception that a sale may be underway, the actual status of the deal remains unconfirmed, unfinalized, and absent from all official procurement documentation. This has led to growing clarity that, despite all the speculation earlier this year, no binding agreement currently exists between the two countries for the export of the J-35A. The origin of the speculation can be traced back to early and mid-2025, when various international and regional defense media began reporting that Pakistan was poised to become the first foreign operator of the J-35A. These reports suggested that Pakistan might acquire a significant number of aircraft, frequently mentioned as up to 40 units, as part of a broader effort to modernize its air force. It was claimed that deliveries could begin within the same year and that Pakistani pilots were either already training in China or about to begin training in anticipation of the jet's arrival. These claims were presented with a degree of confidence in media headlines, giving the impression that the deal was finalized and that Pakistan would soon deploy a fifth-generation fighter alongside other frontline assets. However, none of these early reports were ever accompanied by concrete details such as a signed contract, budget allocation, delivery schedule, or joint government statements confirming the purchase. The absence of such documentation is a critical detail because modern international defense agreements of this scale typically follow a transparent set of milestones that can be observed even when full technical specifications are withheld for security reasons. For example, such deals often involve formal government-to-government memoranda, export licensing approvals, financial arrangements, and offsets or support packages. None of these standard indicators of a defense deal have surfaced in the case of the J-35A in Pakistan. In response to the media narrative, the Pakistani Defense Ministry, through statements attributed to senior officials, publicly denied that a deal had been signed or that the acquisition was finalized. The defense minister clarified that the reports suggesting a finalized transfer were speculative and not representative of the government's current procurement activities. He emphasized that Pakistan routinely reviews different technologies and platforms from global suppliers, but doing so does not automatically imply that a deal has been reached or that negotiations are in the final stages. Following this official response, the intensity of media coverage surrounding the supposed deal declined. No further statements from Pakistan have contradicted the defense minister's position, and no official budget documents have shown any indication that the country has allocated funding for the purchase of a fifth-generation fighter in 2025. The Pakistani defense budget remains under pressure from competing priorities, and the acquisition of advanced platforms such as the J-35A would represent a major financial commitment, one that would likely require broader political and institutional approval, not to mention long-term support infrastructure. There is no evidence that these steps have been taken. From China's side, there has been no official confirmation that the J-35A is being exported to any country. The aircraft remains in its pre-production or early testing phase, and while it has been presented in military expos and discussed in state-affiliated media as a potential export product in the future, no customer has yet been officially announced. It is worth noting that, historically, China tends to induct its own advanced platforms into service before launching full export programs. This applies especially to platforms involving complex technologies such as stealth, sensor fusion, and next-generation avionics. While China has indeed exported advanced systems in the past, its fifth-generation fighter programs are still in the process of transitioning from development to full-scale operational deployment within its own forces. Another important consideration is that exporting a fifth-generation platform involves not just transferring aircraft, but also sharing tactics, training systems, software updates, maintenance protocols, and potentially sensitive technologies. Countries exporting such systems typically establish strict controls around how the systems can be used, upgraded, or maintained. These factors can complicate export arrangements, especially when the recipient nation must balance foreign dependencies with domestic sovereignty over operational military assets. No information has surfaced suggesting that such a complex framework has been negotiated between China and Pakistan regarding the J-35A. Given these realities, the continued absence of official confirmation, either in the form of a signed agreement or credible defense budget planning, strongly supports the conclusion that the export of the J-35A to Pakistan has not occurred. It is possible that informal discussions have taken place between defense officials or through back-channel diplomacy, and it is also possible that both countries are interested in keeping such discussions confidential for strategic or political reasons. However, interest and discussion do not equate to a formal deal, and as of mid-August 2025, there is no public or verifiable indication that the transaction has advanced beyond the speculative stage. Despite earlier assumptions, widespread reporting, and analysis suggesting that Pakistan was on track to become the first foreign operator of the Chinese J-35A stealth fighter, the actual situation is that no formal export agreement exists at this time. Both China and Pakistan have remained officially silent or noncommittal regarding such a transaction, and Pakistan's own public statements have directly refuted claims that a deal was finalized. Therefore, while the export of the J-35A to Pakistan may remain a possibility in the future, especially if the aircraft becomes fully operational in China's own forces, there is no factual basis to conclude that an export deal has been signed or is currently active.